One of the things about losing weight as a Black woman is the fact that people will look at you dead in your eye and criticize you for losing weight and being on your weight loss journey, especially if you are more of a thicker Black woman. I post my transformation a lot online to inspire women, and the comments that I get from people that are like, why did you change yourself? Oh my God, you look so good. The thing is, I was 200 pounds at 5'6". I was obese. Like, that was not healthy for me. But the fact that I was bottom heavy and I had a smaller top, physicality gets prioritized over general health and wellness in the Black community. And it's incredibly frustrating because you have a lot of women that are in the sunken place that swear just because you have a big butt, that supersedes health. I was literally a hamburger away from my stomach pudging over and me not being able to wear crop tops and having to tuck my stomach in my leggings. Like, that wasn't comfortable. And the fact that obesity, specifically with Black American women, is so rampant because of this idealistic, sexualized, version that people have of Black women with having to have these extremely enormous butts is so frustrating.
I got nothing to say because she's preaching.
Okay.
She's spitting straight facts. Like, I've heard that for white women as well, or people from other places and stuff like that, but not as much as the Black community, where you got weight on you. You got, oh no, man, give that girl a sandwich or eat. You need to give you that food whenever they're a little flat guy. You know what I mean? 100%. She's right. What did not help was that body positivity Lizzo shit. And then you called it. You said like, well, wait, it's gonna happen. She's gonna lose weight. All the great ones. Monique had a whole ass bit about skinny bitches. That was the name of the bit. And now she lost weight. Body positivity thing is great until you're 40. Nah, man, I got the weight that I got and it's all good and I ain't got no problems. Yes, you don't yet. Especially if you're Black.
My man said 40. That's generous.
I'm very generous.
Yeah, I started well before.
Some people die at 40. I'm just saying, 30, you need to fucking do something about that
30.
shit. Because that shit will change you.
30.
It's
Especially
just that,
if it's been a long time.
It's just that I shouldn't let you. Without,
30.
I was 200 pounds at 5'6".
The load on them joints?
The load on, it's not even the joints, it's inside your body. What did it say about around your organs? You know what I mean? Foie gras is only good on the food. On the human body, it's not that great.
Someone says, I was 200 pounds at 5 feet my freshman year in college. It's not about subbing. Think when the thickness is hurting your body.
Most of the comments are really like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of Black women talking about this experience. Now, here's the other side. I like this. I think it's because the BMI is based off European standards. You could be 200 pounds and still look and be healthy. You shouldn't go off the scale, but go off your blood test results in your heart health. If you're healthy where you're at, you don't need to be 5'6", 145. But, okay.
For now.
Okay, I'll say this. There's a range where this is true.
Fair.
Okay? 5'6", 200 pounds on a woman is not it. I don't care what nobody says. 200 pounds at 5'6" is big as fuck.
Even if it's muscular, to me, it's not healthy. Then.
And you could say your heart health and all this other stuff, but you got to give a prognosis for yourself going into the future. I promise you, you're not going to be 5'6" at 200 pounds going into your 50s and 60s and think you're going to have mobility or health or a long prognosis for life. That's why when y'all never notice, as people get older, you start seeing fat people less and less.
Yeah.
There's a reason. I don't know nobody who can get it up into 80, 90, and they really obese. Most of them motherfuckers die off well before. There's a reason. So I agree with her that sometimes the BMI can be overdone and people put too much. I've seen some people call some things, I'm like, you're bucking. That's just a little bit, you're a trick. 200 pounds at 5'6" is crazy. It is. I agree with her too, where she says, get your blood test done. Check your heart health. These are all things that are important. But don't lie about the pain you feel every day, the difficulty you have with certain movements and everything involved. The idea of weight and how each individual carries that weight needs to be taught better without fat-phobic propaganda. I'm 5'6", I weigh 220, and nobody has ever called me fat, and my blood work is great. BMI was not built with Black women on our body types in mind. The craziest thing this guy said to me was after I shared my weight loss transformation, what I must be trying to attract was white men. Since when did weight loss equate to attracting only a certain demographic? And that's real.
Oh, the reason why he's saying that is really because of the curves.
Yeah.
It's known that people that like more curves are sub-Saharan. You know what I mean? So I see also the ignorance in what he's saying.
Here's a doctor in the comments who says, black women are having strokes in their 30s more than ever. Don't listen. Before, because of this denial that 200 pounds is a very unhealthy weight for women. 200 pounds over is the average weight for most black women, and most don't even know they have high blood pressure until they have a stroke. Obesity and its consequences is a healthcare crisis in black women in America and in their children, who are now even more obese than their mothers. Both mom and kids are now developing type 2 diabetes at epidemic rates.
That's true. It's a fact.
Is it?
It is. It's a fact. There's also an increase of diabetes right now in people that are America's and black. I believe that it's because of our diet.
So it is true.
Alarming rate.
That they have the highest rates of high blood pressure. Hyperextension is a major risk for stroke, heart disease, and kidney disease.
Hypertension.
Yeah, hypertension, my bad. Black folks in general experience strokes at younger ages on average than...
All them rappers that you see falling down around 50 and 40, that's without the drug and the alcohol use.
Obesity prevalence is higher amongst the black women compared to many other groups. I mean, obesity is high amongst all groups, but there's some groups that go even further, and that's been true. And so, you know...
So if it's pushed in the community, if it's like, you think, yeah, it's nice, but also at what cost?
Yeah.
Let's call it 100, it's a fetish. With that fetish of the black woman being big, bottom heavy and everything and stuff, and it's like, it's getting into that realm. Yeah, it is nice, but we put so much emphasis on this and so much pressure that I see some people that had wonderful figures that are getting BBLs, and now it's looking ridiculous.
On one hand, you do like the celebration, because for a lot of time, that figure and that shape wasn't well seen. It was seen as something that was unsightly. So I think showing love to those figures in that thicker frame is a good thing, because I think it is also fairly normal for a lot of people to be on the thicker side, not to be this real thin supermodel that used to be the look that was in 20, 25 years ago. Do you remember? Even black women back then were very, very thin. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's the worst thing that curves are a little bit more in than they used to be. I just think it's getting taken to such an extreme. You know, in part, I think the fact that women are quite supportive of each other is a good thing. But like anything, you take it to an extreme, it can get bad. You know, when your girls tell you don't have to change, you know, you good. But it's like, well, it's not just about my look. It's also about my health. That matters. I'm now 189 at 6 feet.
Yeah. And
okay?
And I'm 230 at 5'2".
Yeah, that math was crazy. And all the Europeans are like, what are these 5, 6, 2 centimeters? I'm 183, and I think he's 180.
125.
Shut the fuck up. Or if you go to the UK and I'm 1.5 stones, he's 10 stones, big blocks. They call him the Big Ben, the clock.
Yes. Dong, bitch, dong.
It really has become a world where I'm constantly told women do this for themselves, and every day they come out looking more and more like what every guy desires in a rap video. Mm-hmm. You can't tell me this is for yourselves. You guys can't convince me that this is for your health. I think it's ironic, because this is one of those times where I'm like, I could definitely see how the patriarchy has influenced beauty standards, and women are like, no, that we did that. That's all us. Do you believe them?
No, I don't.
You know what I've also heard from some women? I've heard some women say that when they lost weight, they lost friends.
Yeah, because misery loves company. You have to have like a certain routine and regime to lose weight, and have like discipline to go to the gym and stuff like that. There's kind of a complacence in staying in your own body. You have to learn how to love yourself. Yeah. You don't have a choice. So I get it. And then you see your friend doing good. It's like I've seen that. I've definitely seen that. I can't hang with her because I'm the ugly one now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It does happen. That is a narrative. So yeah.
What she said that really struck with me is like, we care more about than health. And I just kept playing that line back in my head, because I remember one girl telling me that she was blessed. She was blessed, be with a bosom. As someone who's well endowed, she wanted to get a breast reduction, which in my head, I'm like, what a crime against humanity. And I told her, like, why would you ever do that? And then she kept telling me that she's going to get it, don't worry about it. And then, you know, one day she showed me, like, bro, my back is killing me. Like, you got these, like, perfect, okay?
But you're not in her body.
1 second.
Go ahead.
I'm just remembering them. Now,
I knew you had a flashback.
When she said her back problems, I started asking her questions. She had to explain, like, it was difficult when she would do physical exercise, when she would run, when she would do other things. Like, her back would be fucking killing her. And when she described, like, the severe pain and the fact that she might even potentially have scoliosis, I was like, okay. And even for my own self-reflection, I thought, damn, what a stupid thing, because I just didn't know about what these implications are in my defense. But when she explained it to me, I'm like, I get it. And she was surprised by my answer. I'm like, listen, health is everything. There's a lot of things I would do for my health that might make me look a little bit worse, but it is what it is. In fact, fucking these things, I got these like Invisaligns. I'm only doing it for health reasons. If I didn't have to get a surgery later on afterwards, I would never do this shit. I literally sat across from the orthodontist. And as we were talking, you know, with the surgeon and everything involved, because I didn't want to change my teeth. I like the way my teeth were. And they explained to me, like, we understand, but your health. When she said that, it was a mic drop moment. She said she didn't have a pitch to convince me.
No, she didn't have to.
Even though she got
that was strong enough.
Even though she gonna make some money off me, you know what I'm saying?
If you're smart, that was a pitch.
But she really said that simple. Like, that's all. And it was a very short meeting. I left. And I told them I need some time to think about it. And when I got home, all I kept playing in my head, like, you know, if I want to be here for my family, my people, for myself, like, yeah, it matters. That's why I got a little bit of lisp now when I talk, because I have these fucking things in. I think this plastic surgery era, a lot of this like shaming of people I think that's part of that equation.
Why do you think that people prioritize more than health?
Because health is far off. Rejection is immediate. Like, you don't care about health problems till you got them.
That gratification is right there.
That's it.
That gratification is right there.
I'm going to the club this weekend. But I ain't got to worry about diabetes till whenever it happens, and it won't happen to me because nothing's ever happened to me. People who have health issues care about health more than anyone else.
100%.
But it's like some of them, they did things to get there. Why did all these women do experimental BBLs? They were going to like hotels.
Colombia.
No, this is in America.
Oh.
They were going to hotels.
The injections.
And the horse needle they was getting in those injections from some random lady with a briefcase. Why? Because they were thinking, I could get an OnlyFans right now, and it'll be popping. And I want a BBL like that lady, even though it might kill them. And if they hit a fucking vein, you're dead. See, this is what this lady says. Yeah, so imagine at 5'3", at 286, oh my God. And they're like, why are you getting so small? I'm 5'3", my back hurts. I'm now 5'3", at 165, so much better. Good for her. I don't care what she looked like. I don't care if she lost her ass and her titties. I hope she gets to live a long life. Some of you motherfuckers gonna show up at the funeral going like, it's so sad not knowing you were part of the people who are pressuring folks not to change for the better. Like, what does that mean? I think it's a big indictment. It's a very sad thing that we've taken, like, this is toxic positivity, I guess, in a way. You know, the one thing I'll say from the other perspective is that I have always supported the idea that you don't have to shame people through their process.
Right.
That you don't have to be mean-spirited towards them. Oh, you fat. No, not necessarily.
No, you don't.
But I also think it's also healthy not to lie. It's also healthy not to just encourage people to stay in negative health dynamics. I don't think there's anything positive for most people about hating themselves through the whole weight loss journey. I think it's okay to say, I'm not in a good spot and I want to change and work through those progress, and it can be slow and it can have halts and you can make progress over time. And that's like parts of like the body positivity that I'm like, okay, I can understand not hating your body or whatever it is and saying, I'm just not happy here and I want to get someplace better, but I'm going to still love myself. I can understand that. But some of the other aspects, I think, is what I take issue with. So that's what I would say. All right, folks, that's it for today's video. We want to hear from you guys in the comments below.